Can't you see? Everyone! They're here already! You're next!
Let's go!
Welcome to the future, where the glass is half full and you'll need new glasses, where you'll be jumping from conclusions.
The past is annulled, and a new future is born!
Never before in history has so much meant so little to so many. AD on the radio.
You know, you would think, right? You would think that peer pressure is something that we would grow out of. When you think of somebody being peer pressured into something, it would probably be like smoking or cutting class or doing something that's going to get them in trouble anywhere from grade 6 through 12. Were you ever peer pressured? I had it was interesting. I had one of my very first ever girlfriends. I was a teenager, and man, I'll never forget this experience because I really had a crush on this girl. The whole school had a crush on this girl. And by the way, I had no game whatsoever. So it was an absolute miracle that she wound up being my actual girlfriend for a little while in like the 8th or 9th grade. And I was like, this is awesome. I'm going out with this girl that I really like. Not only that, but, she's kind of the brass ring of the 9th grade. This is super cool. Yes. And had a great old time having her as my girlfriend for a little while. And then we were out one time. There was like no parents or teachers or anyone like that around. And she lights up a cigarette. And I was just like, gross. And she's like, you knew I smoked. I was like, I knew you smoked, but I've never actually seen you smoke before. So, yeah. And she smoked. Irritating. Because even then, I thought it was nasty. Like my dad smoked at the time, and my mom used to make fun of him for it because he'd promised that he would quit smoking when I was a kid, and never wound up doing it. And so like I grew up with it beat into my skull, one of the few useful values that was instilled into me as a child, that smoking is for dummies. So I looked at anybody that smoked as kind of a dummy. And I'll never forget, she was like, smoke with me. I was like, no, thank you. And she's like, no, seriously, try it. Have a cigarette. It's cool. And I was like, what? No, this is like an after school special. I'm not going to smoke your cigarette. And she actually held the cigarette up to my mouth, urging me to smoke. I think there might have even been an offer of a little 9th grade appropriate groping if I was to take my first hit off of this cigarette. And I was just like, no, I'm not doing it. And I'll never forget, I was just like, this person that I wanted to be with so badly, this girl that I had a crush on, this girl that I was so happy decided to be my girlfriend. I got the note passed to me in class where it was like, hey, if you ask her out, she'll say yes. And it was so funny because like I asked her out, not anywhere in particular, but it was like, will you go out with me? Yeah, I will. All right, I guess we're boyfriend and girlfriend now. That was the relationship. And I was just like on cloud 9 for a little while. And this did not last long, but it all went badly south when she tried to get me to smoke. And I was just like, anybody that would try to get me to smoke a cigarette is not a good person. And interestingly enough, I ran into her a couple years ago. I was like, do you remember you tried to get me to smoke? She's like, I did? That's awful. I was like, yeah, I know. That's kind of, I think, why we wound up not working out. And she was like, yeah, that's terrible. Oh, I still smoke. I was like, I can smell it on you. And she's like, it's awful, isn't it? I was like, it's really awful. She's like, it's one of the things I regret the most in this life. And I was like, yeah, I knew I was right in the 8th or 9th grade or whenever it was, but it's good to get the reassurance that I was right all these many years later. Smoking is bad. You feel stupid for doing it. And I was right to think that a person that would try and get me to smoke, as much as they seem great on the surface, as much as they were, like I said, the brass ring of the 9th grade at my school, as much as, she was by 9th grade standards smoking hot in my 9th grade eyes, man, she wasn't the right girl for me because she tried to do something that would have jeopardized my health and wasn't a good move. And I wasn't into it. And years later, Just if you add up the money. I was like, you were smoking in the 9th grade. She was like, yeah. I was like, how much money do you think you've spent on cigarettes over the years? She was like, probably enough to buy a house. Shut up. I was like, just checking. I don't know what cigarettes cost because I don't smoke them, he said, feeling ever so superior. But that's the thing. That is the thing. It takes a certain amount of presence of mind when someone who on the surface you thought was just fantastic is offering you or trying to get you or trying to coerce you into doing something that's not right. And anybody that asks you to compromise your principles is not your friend. This is not the metaphorical 9th grade girl you should be dating. I only thought of this because of an interesting strain of anti-Semitism that seems to be rolling through Democrats in New York City at the moment. Yeah, anti-Semitic Democrats. Seems like an oxymoron, but stay with me on this one.
Real radio.
104.1.
Where the left and right come together for fundamental truths. AD on the radio, on Twitter at ADSXE.
So, you might subscribe to a political party. You might vote straight ticket, whatever the hell it is. You might be a straight ticket Republican voter. You might be a straight ticket Democrat. Don't know. But as we've said many times on this show, aligning yourself with a particular party or voting for a particular candidate just because they happen to be, they're Democrat, Republican, cool. There's all sorts of variables within human beings. I'm sure you've noticed this, but we're not all exactly the same, and that's what makes life kind of interesting. But the reason I brought up this story, the story of my 9th grade girlfriend trying to get me to smoke, is because on paper, everything that a 9th grade boy would be interested in. She was willing to make out with me. She was super fun. Everybody in the school thought she was hot. She was hot. We had a really good time together. We were friends before we started dating. And it was like this magically triumphant moment when I became her boyfriend. Those immortal words. Will you go out with me? Yes, I'll go out with you. I guess we're boyfriend and girlfriend now. We should probably get our corsages together for the prom. Although it was the 9th grade, so we didn't get a prom. Anyways, it was like a big win in my 9th grade mind. And then she tried to get me to smoke. She was smoking, which I thought was gross. I thought it was free. I'm hammered into my head that smoking was terrible. So I was just like, this person that's trying to get me to smoke is not the right person for me to be with. She's not a very good person. Like, it's one thing if she saddled herself with that addiction, but if she's actively like the villain in an after-school special trying to get me to pollute my lungs and poison my body, this isn't a good person for me to be with. So I kind of wound up letting that one go. And I guess it was sort of an early lesson in that whole idea we talk about on this show all the time. You know what feels right to you. Excuse me. By the way, just so we're clear on this, if I sound a little hoarse, that's because I have walking pneumonia, which I think is just sort of like a glorified way of saying you're sick, but you also have problems breathing. But anyways, you'll have to deal with me croaking my way through this show here today. But the reason I bring this up and what reminded me of this was oftentimes we're presented something that looks good on paper. This is basically how I feel. Yeah, sure, you can count on my vote. You're in the appropriate party. Now, what's interesting is that's exactly what politicians want. They want you to remove the critical thinking from your political process. If they know they can just count on your vote as a knee-jerk reaction, if they can count on your donation as a knee-jerk reaction, oh, so much the better. They want you to not even give any shred of thought to what's actually going on. Just vote because you are loyal. And it's an interesting one because we're this country that is founded on the principle of individual liberty. and freedom for the individual. Yet, politicians, I can't think of too many that encourage your individuality. They see you as an amorphous blob of potential voters. And you oftentimes don't know what you're getting into. Like with the strain of anti-Semitism that's running through the Democrat Party, the Democrats in New York City. You got to confront it at some point. It's a little insane what's going on. I mean, it really is. What do you mean anti-Semitism? Quietly spoken racist remarks in back rooms during meetings? No. Have you heard about this guy? Thomas Lopez Pierre. He's running against Upper Manhattan Councilman Mark Levine in the primary. And Lopez Pierre said, and I quote, "We shall rise up against greedy Jewish landlords in New York City." Greedy Jewish landlords. "If our political leaders fail to protect us, we shall sacrifice blood to save our communities from the evils of gentrification." His Twitter bio reads, "Jewish landlords own 80% of private rental buildings in Upper Manhattan, guilty of greed for pushing black and Hispanic tenants out." He's been circulating all these emails and pieces of literature highlighting building owners of Jewish roots who have donated to his opponent's campaign, and he's calling attention to what he claims are racist slights against himself and the black and Latino community. And it's an interesting one, right? Because I know so many people that would be like, oh, well, let me see here. New York City Council candidate. I live on the upper side of Manhattan. Yeah. Oh, here's a picture of him shaking hands with Mayor Bill de Blasio. Cool, that guy. I like Bill. Therefore, I probably like this guy. Fine. Whoa. Did he just say what I think? Did he just say greedy Jewish landlords? Is he really doing this? Is he running on a campaign of anti-Semitism in New York City in 2017? Why, yes, he is. That's exactly what he's doing. And it's just that never-ending lesson that I think we refresh ourselves on daily, that you need to dig a little deeper oftentimes. And oftentimes, if you follow what you know to be true in your heart, the way I went, she's so hot, but she wants me to do something that's going to give me cancer. This is not the girl for me. Oftentimes, things work out. You know what's right. Follow your heart. Money making, skills on the mic, give me paid every day, and you're part of the battle, just bow down, better act like you know. Come on,
For more stimulation and less irritation, 9 out of 10 doctors choose KPRC AM 950, Houston's more stimulating talk radio.
Don't get the blues, get all the news. We mean all of you guys out there in Radio Land.
All aboard!
He's back. AD on the radio.
Give it up, yeah. Give it up, yeah. Bring this on, come on.
Alrighty then. So it's been busy for the last couple of weeks. You might have noticed that we've been on the air a scotch more sporadically, and there's a reason for that. And it's the
not only because you're dying.
I promise I wasn't doing that for effect. It's the Walken Pneumonia, which Funkhouser, when people around the office, when I told them, hey, I went to the doctor, and they're like, oh, did they say what was wrong with you? And I went, oh, I got pneumonia. Any idea? Do you get it? Oh.
One more time?
Oh, no. I've got pneumonia.
What's wrong with you there?
I've got pneumonia. You know what kind of pneumonia, though?
It sounds like you got Walken Pneumonia.
Yeah, I do. Thank you. Thank you for getting in.
Well,
Very good.
If you're going to die, at least you're going down smiling.
Right, yes. Yeah, there you go. So, Walken pneumonia. And the boogie woogie flu, apparently, I don't know. But so, yeah, back on the air. Still apparently have the pneumonia. And you know what? I think Walken pneumonia is just like, it's a colloquialism. It's a little overly dramatic because people hear that and they go, ooh. And I was like, I think it's just because like my asthma's really kicked in and I also have this chest infection. So I'm sick and I can't get a full breath of air into my lungs. So
this is not
the
good.
fact that no, I mean, obviously it's not good, but I'm still here. I appear to be surviving. That seems to be okay. I have a refill on my albuterol inhaler, you know.
I feel bad because you're at work and I'm not, really.
Yeah. So there you go. Shall we tell them where the hell in the world you are? Where the hell are you, anyways?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm in beautiful downtown Palm Springs, California, at the Courtyard by Marriott.
Yeah. So Funkhouser, you might recall last time we were on the air was like, I'm going through some changes. Funkhouser, he quit his corporate job. I was lucky enough that I get to keep you as a producer, but you headed off on this big road trip with Darren Kavanoki. He's not an ambulance chasing lawyer. He's a what kind of law does he practice?
Oh, he does all kinds of stuff, but mostly it's DUI in Southern California.
DUI, yeah. DUI
in Central California now.
What's his 1-800 no cuffs? Is that it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Funkhouser is on the road with a very, very sort of well-known lawyer traipsing across America in the back of an RV, currently in beautiful Palm Springs. And what's the purpose of the exercise?
I should mention he's really, also really cool. Nationally he's known on the channel Investigation Discovery. He does a show called Deadly Sins, and it's a true crime show.
Yep, and he's on CNN as well.
He's on The Insider. Anytime crime happens, they go to the bald guy in the glasses. He's that guy.
Uh-huh.
And he turned 50, and his whole crew said, okay, so you turned 50. Is there anything on your bucket list you want to do? And he goes, well, I always wanted to run across the country.
What crew is this?
Well, he's got a whole bunch of crew.
I don't have a crew of people that ask me what I'd like to do to celebrate a landmark. Like, what I want a crew.
Well, I think we have like 15 years to build a crew. You have one person so far. I'm on your crew. Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right.
So there's one.
That's all the crew I need. I run a lean, mean operation around here. So anyways, he wanted to do what now when he hit 50?
He wanted to run across the country from sea to shining sea.
As one does. That's unbelievably impressive. So you and this lawyer, Darren Kavanoki, who, and you know what? Funkhouser's like, I'm quitting my job to live in an RV with a lawyer. I was like, sure you are. This sounds like a bad offshoot of Breaking Bad. This sounds like, what the hell is going on? He's like, no. What we're going to do is, and I was like, okay, all right, okay. And then all of a sudden, what do we see? Like, on CNN and on Dr. Phil and literally everywhere, Darren Kavanoki, Funkhouser's new boss, pops up talking about this thing that he's doing, running across America at the age of 50 and actually setting an incredible example in the world of health and wellness. Like, I'm ready to give up now. Like, I just look down at my body and go like, this whole thing, this is,
it's funny. Everybody around me is trying to kill themselves. I wonder what's going on. Maybe it's me.
Yeah, but I just look down and go, this whole thing is never getting any better. Like, I used to think, like, I'll get back into the gym when I get time. Before I clawed my way to middle management, I was this ripped, toned, shredded super athlete with single-digit body fat and a noticeable six-pack, able to lift large amounts of weights without even thinking about it. You need something heavy, taken from one place to another, I'll do it with one hand. That was me. And now, well, I used to be this guy that could cut through life's problems like a hot knife through butter. And now what have we become, Funkhouser?
We've become the butter.
Yeah, we've become the butter. And so, like, it is kind of inspiring.
I'm less butter. I'm running a little bit.
Are you really?
Every so often.
Is it sort of like...
I probably walked 2 miles today.
So this is like a weird one. But do you remember Dee Snider, lead singer of Twisted Sister?
Oh, yeah. I think he has his own radio show, too. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, he's been a morning guy at a bunch of different radio stations. I think he's on Sirius XM. He's like, you look at him and you go, he's this ridiculous over-the-top person because he's Dee Snider from Twisted Sister. This is the guy that filed his teeth down so he would have fangs. But the guy's actually incredibly driven, does a lot of stuff, and he's in amazing shape. Like, I don't know how old he is, but for whatever the hell age he is, he's in amazing shape. And he's always been in amazing shape. And I knew a guy that was in his band for a little while. And he
Which
would,
guy?
you know, he was in some other, like, I think he was in Dee Snider's solo band. The guy that was the A&R man for my album when I made it. He was a bass player, and he played bass with Dee Snider. And he would be like, yo, being on the road with Dee Snider was crazy because, like, you'd be eating breakfast. He's like, you sure you really need those waffles? He was like a complete body Nazi, and he wanted everybody in his band to be ripped-toned, shredded super athletes the way he was a ripped-toned, shredded super athlete. So is there a certain amount of healthy peer pressure? Like, you pick up a Snickers bar and, you know, does the entire RV look at you and be like, really? What are you doing? We're out here promoting health and wellness. There's a bowl of tofu right over there, and you go for the candy bar? For shame, Funkhouser, for shame. Jiggle your way over there and think about what you did. Like,
sometimes I feel guilty, but they have a whole box of Snickers bars.
Yeah,
the whole box.
Don't you guys travel with a personal chef now too?
Yeah, this guy's cooking every 3 to 6 hours. Mm-hmm.
Oh, right, because
cooking
they need to sustain. Yeah. So, like, what? I guess it's really different because, like, if you're running across America, you need different food than if you're sitting at a desk all day long. So going, that guy's really healthy. What does he eat? It's probably not relevant. But, like, a super healthy runner that's running across America, what are they eating mostly?
It's mostly like chicken salad and tuna salad, wraps, and a lot of drinks, a lot of, like, mixed kale and fruit.
Ugh.
And really gross stuff. Like there's a 26-year-old runner, Kyle, who's also running. He's a ginger. That's okay to say on the radio, right? Is that a...
You know, I think you got about a day and a half left before it becomes wildly
He's a nice young man.
Incorrect.
He's a
ginger-haired guy. So, like, Darren Kavanoki's running across the country, and his running partner is literally half his age. That's some inspiring stuff. Because, like, I look down at what's going on. I go, this is never getting any better. I just give up, like, now. And, like, I don't know what...
These two are in incredible shape.
It's like what Louis C.K. said. I don't know what your weight is supposed to be, but I'm pretty sure it's not 200 plus your age. Like... It's very, very impressive that these guys are doing what they're doing. That's cool, and it's even more impressive. So what'd they hire you to do?
So I'm documenting the whole thing. I'm writing notes. They're turning this into something at the end of it. We'll see. But every day I'm writing down the things that matter.
Well,
and
we look forward to playing daily games of Where in the World is Funkhouser.
Yes, I could be in your town soon.
Yeah. Follow Funkhouser on Twitter @FunkFM to see where his wacky misadventures will take him next. Where are you going next? You're in Palm Springs now.
Well,
what's next?
As they hear this, I'm in Blythe, California, which is the last city before you go into the wilderness until Arizona. So we're going down the south through Texas and then up the East Coast.
Ah, well, very cool. If there's anybody that listens in Texas on KPRC in Houston, Funkhouser is coming to a town near you. Yeah, very exciting. Well, that's awesome. Congratulations on your new job. It's really cool.
Thank you.
It's really exciting. Can't wait to find out what you're doing every single day. Right now, though, we should probably do, he says as he tries to get over his, Walken Pneumonia. It's terrible.
It's not okay.
It's really bad.
It's not okay. Ever.
Do you think that, like,
what?
What do you actually think of my Christopher Walken?
I mean, it's okay, but you're dying. I'm sure it would be better if you weren't dying.
So I never thought I had a good... You can turn the music, the bed up a little bit. I never thought I had a good Christopher Walken. I always thought I had a terrible Christopher Walken. But the other week, it was his 74th birthday. So I'm on the radio. I'm like, Christopher Walken's 74. He's really getting up there. You know what never gets old? My terrible impersonation of him. And I did my terrible impersonation of him. And I got a whole bunch of tweets from people saying that is surprisingly legit. Your impersonation's really, really good. And so now I'm kind of under the impression that I'm maybe like the 23rd best Christopher Walken impersonator that I know. Like, it's a
I mean, we
list,
could start a poll if you want.
All right, so
I would vote for it.
You know how, like, the gag is what if Christopher Walken was working at Starbucks? Or what if Christopher Walken was advertising Skittles? Or something like that, right? Mm-hmm. Mine is, what if my dog, Milhouse, talked like Christopher Walken? Eh?
That is the voice that you want for your dog.
Oh. No. Dad, it's terrible news. We're all out of kibble. We should go outside, go for a walk. It's exciting. It's not bad, right?
Okay.
You didn't like it.
Yeah, I did.
The altitude getting to your hearing there?
I had one.
'Cause everybody else freaking loved it.
It was great. Anyways,
yeah, let's do some news.
For some reason, I don't have my newspaper.
Just do it. Go on.
I can't.
Wait, you did what? This really is terrible news. What, you don't have the news?
I don't have the news.
Oh.
I mean, is there a delay from here, from where you are to where I am in news delivery?
I have no idea.
I don't know.
Gosh. Hold on a second.
I could vamp. Should I vamp?
Why don't we pause the show while we figure out what's going on with the news?
Okay. Pause. Yeah, you didn't email it to me.
Yeah, I realize that. As we said before, I am dying.
I know. Everyone understands. I'm so sorry we have to do this. But the fact that we are is great. I'm going to change the batteries.
Yeah. I got your text. Email me the news.
Oh, here it is.
Right.
NBC canceled the sitcom Powerless because of low ratings.
Yeah, the whole idea was basically the world of superheroes is humongous at the moment in the world of television. So the idea was this was people that didn't have powers in a world where everyone else did. And yeah, NBC canceled the sitcom Powerless because of low ratings. Probably because if anybody really wants to see something that's powerless, they could just watch a sitcom about Nancy Pelosi. Go on.
The next Indiana Jones movie will come out in 2020 when Harrison Ford is 78 years old.
Yeah.
Get off my plane.
No ticket. If you're like me, you grew up watching Indiana Jones movies. You love Indiana Jones movies. There's a soft spot in the warm and fuzzy region of your heart for Indiana Jones films, except for maybe that one with Shia LaBeouf in it. That guy can ruin literally anything. But the idea of him being 78 years old, Indiana Jones will be 78 years old when this movie comes out, is an interesting one. And you know what? I like it. I like that it's challenging preconceived notions about age. And honestly, if they didn't feel like they could make a good movie with a 78-year-old Indiana Jones, they wouldn't be making it. He worked good as an old Han Solo. I thought that was cool. But yeah.
I didn't see that one.
It wasn't bad. When the new Indiana Jones movie comes out in 2020, Indiana Jones will be 78 years old. And in this one, I think there's a thrilling scene where he has to run through a series of caves while being chased by his prostate. Go on.
Kim Kardashian.
Or one where he creates an international incident by accidentally drinking Metamucil from the Holy Grail.
What have I done?
Only the penitent shall pass, and I'm not passing anything unless I have this Metamucil.
You're longing for that shining sun. You walk these streets most every day. You're waiting to get washed away. Radio. 104.1.
Now, more AD on the radio.
Alrighty then, Funkhouser, let's continue. Let's continue with the news.
Who's Cara Delevingne? Who's the girl from? How do you say her name?
I think it's Cara You mean the girl from Suicide Squad?
Yes.
Hold on. Where's the news bed?
It's coming. It's coming.
How will this have any ring of authority without the news?
We have to wait for cheap hotel Wi-Fi to kick in.
Oh,
here it is.
Fantastic.
Cara Delevingne's body was digitally altered in Suicide Squad.
Yeah, everybody's all mad because she's plenty thin enough, as it is, and they shaved her down. I think. Also, they made her look thinner. Ha ha ha! No, they digitally reduced it, so it made her waist smaller and stuff, and everyone's all mad because she's already infeasibly thin. As these things go, and they say it sets a very, very bad example for females in general, and it's not a... Here's the thing, though. I think it'll be okay. Cara Delevingne's body might have been digitally altered in Suicide Squad, but nobody noticed. There were no young girls or impressionable females to be affected by this negative message toward body acceptance because it happened at the end of the movie, and by then everyone had left. That thing sucked. Oh my gosh. You know where I saw that movie, Funkhouser?
What? Where?
On a plane. I saw it on a 20-hour plane flight where there was nothing else to do but watch a movie, and I still found myself thinking as I was watching it, there's a better use of my time. It was one of those things where you just wanted it to be good. You wanted it to be good so badly. And everybody went to see it. And it set all sorts of box office records. And everyone went, nah.
I think everyone left shaking their head going,
Yeah, no, absolutely. I know people that worked on it that left shaking their head, being like, oh, God. All right. Well, ho-hum. And you know why it wasn't good? Same thing. You know why Jessica Jones and Daredevil and all the episodic television shows that do superhero flicks work rather well? The Flash is good as well. I'll tell you why. Because comic books were meant to be like that. Comic books were meant to be an ongoing episodic story. It's sort of like, you get hour-long worth of entertainment out of a comic book, or a half hour, depending on what comic book it is and how fast you read it and how long that thing is. And then you go, oh my gosh, I can't wait to find out what happens in the next one. That's what comic books were. And now, comic book movies have always sort of fallen way short of the mark for the reason that you're trying to cram an origin story, the story of the girlfriend, the origin of the villain, the story of the boyfriend, if it's a female hero, actually, there's a lesbian character on Supergirl. But you know what? Here's the thing. It took us, I think, a season and a half to figure out she was a lesbian. It was this ongoing storyline. And the way it evolved was really cool because, you don't find out you're a lesbian in the course of a 2.5 hour movie. If you're unsure about your sexuality, it takes some time for that whole storyline to evolve and unravel, and it did in a very kind of cool sort of gradual way where there were hints and there were sort of moments of foreshadowing, and that was because it's an episode. It's episode after episode, and when you're trying to cram all this stuff into a 2-hour movie, it just, for the most part, doesn't work. Avengers did a really good job at it. First Iron Man movie did a really good job at it, I thought. But you get something like Suicide Squad where half of the characters people don't know anyway. They know Harley Quinn, and they know Will Smith is in it, and they know that Jared Leto is a Joker in it, and you just don't have any idea of how these people got there. So there's an origin story for each person, and it just doesn't hang together. You feel as though it was a 2.5 hour movie that was edited down from about 10, and it feels like it. And the other thing is, everyone's like, oh, Jared Leto can play anyone. Brah. Yeah, I was like, he played the Joker, and the Joker is a character who has what is called a rictus smile. His mouth is spasmed in a certain way. His facial muscles have spasmed in a certain way where he cannot stop smiling. It's called the rictus smile or the rictus grin. It's an actual medical condition, and that is why the Joker is always smiling and laughing. And anyways, there's real sort of hard science behind the Joker and why he looks the way he does, and they messed with that. And Jared Leto, when he played the Joker, didn't smile. I was like, how could you miss that? Bite me, Jared, for playing it that way, and bite me, directors, for allowing him to play it that way.
Not cool, dude.
Yeah, and when I saw that he was wearing, like, grills and he had tattoos and this was an updated version of the Joker, I was like, I can get into that. But the Joker has a smile. That's who he is. Anyways, for that reason, I don't think anyone really made it to the end of that movie and noticed that they shaved down, reduced Cara Delevingne's body in Suicide Squad. So I understand where the I understand where the righteous indignation.
Right?
What?
She must be cute, right? She's cute, right? Cara?
To Google. I mean, like, so in that storyline, she plays sort of like an undead witch type. So, you know. You know what? I'm looking at pictures of Cara Delevingne now, and you know what I notice about her?
What?
She's got some eyebrows. And I don't know, like, she's blonde and her eyebrows are black. And it's interesting because if you look at pictures of, like, old school Brooke Shields from the 70s or 80s or whenever Brooke Shields was a thing, same deal. Very heavy eyebrows. So apparently she's bringing them back. That's the first thing I noticed. But, yeah, do you think she's cute?
I think so.
I don't know. I think she's 24. Like, that's probably what she is. And it just, I don't know. I think I've hit an age where I know so many guys that are like, oh, man, she's young. That's hot. I'm like, oh, yeah. I think, I don't know. It's weird. I think where a lot of guys see sort of like romantic attraction and sexual possibility, I see issues in herpes. I just don't. No, thank you.
Aww.
No, I'm not saying everyone has issues in herpes, but like these guys that are sort of closer to our age, they're, you know, in their 30s, in some cases beating the crap out of their 30s, or some cases past their 30s, and they're trying to date like 22-year-old girls, and it just, doesn't, anyways. I don't know. I'm not knocking it till I try it, but I'm like, you really think this is going anywhere? They're like, oh no, not even a little bit, but I'm enjoying every second of it, which is, yeah. I'm not judging that way of going through life, but doesn't appeal to yours truly. So is Cara Delevingne cute? I don't know, but she does have pronounced eyebrows, and you know what? That's a little different. So good for her for going with it.
Leave the stimulation to the professionals.
Everyone is so smart.
KBRC, more stimulating talk radio.
There's something happening here, and you should know what it is. The dumbing up of America. Now, more AD on the radio.
So, you know, speaking of Brooke Shields and her prominent eyebrows, did you see that picture of her that surfaced a little while ago? Maybe it came out back in the day. I was too young to know, and there wasn't an internet back then. And but one of my favorite bands of all time was, and still is, Bad Brains. Do you know Bad Brains, Funkhouser?
Yeah.
They might be, okay, so they're not more of an East Coast thing?
Well, they are. I know a little bit about them. I can't name a song.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you're any kind of a Bad Brains fan. Usually, I find that people that are into them, like everybody that I grew up with in England was really into Bad Brains.
Anything we could play on the air?
Sure. Yeah. No, all sorts of stuff. What's my favorite one? Oh man, there's an album called Eye Against Eye. And well, first let me finish telling you why I think Brooke Shields is cool. A picture surfaced of her hanging out smoking pot with HR, the lead singer of Bad Brains, a little while ago. And I hadn't seen it before, but I was like, whoa, to the punk rock community, Brooke Shields just gained all sorts of cool points. But, all right, so there's actually, and this is interesting, when we were making an album, we were sort of actively pursued by this guy that had at one point produced Bad Brains. This guy called Ron St. Germain, who produced 311, and he produced, I don't know if he mixed Soundgarden, and he worked with like 311 and Soundgarden and all these like big ass bands, and he also made a Bad Brains record called Eye Against Eye, which is really, really good. Like if you're going to Eye Against Eye, Rock for Light, Quickness, Yeah. Wait for it. This is where the mosh pit loses it.
Fulfilling the team and everybody's always on it just to see himself. If I'm fucking around, then she's just on dead. Understand I open hand to anyone else. Tell me why is after the line trying to make me up confused about the USA. When the fuck in my mind, then she's just on here to comprehend or overstand. I see what I say. Mother, whatever, go get tired.
All right, so Funkhouser.
Wow.
There's a song. Amazing band. Like, try and oh wait, hold on, this part. So good. We'll just wind up listening to this whole record if I have my way. So we should probably get back to doing a show. But there is one thing that's super cool and different about this album, and I don't think it has ever been done before. But we're talking to this guy, Ron St. Germain, that wants to produce us. We didn't wind up using him, which was probably a mistake, all things considered. But I was like, I really took this meeting not only because we're interested in having you produce our record, but I wanted to talk to you because you produced Eye Against Eye by Bad Brains, which is one of the greatest records of all time. And he was like, yes, it is. We're on the same page with this stuff. We should definitely work together. And I was like, I have a question for you. There's a song, maybe you can find it, Funkhouser, called Sacred Love.
By Bad Brains?
Yeah, Bad Brains, Sacred Love. And there was a rumor about this, that when they went to record the vocal, they recorded the song. They were in the studio, finished the song. But when... Oh, well, hold on, Funkhouser. Don't start it yet. Hold on.
Oh, okay.
HR, their lead singer, who is completely off the wall and out there in any number of wonderful ways, was in jail for something, and I don't even know what he was in jail for. But they were on a time crunch, and they had to finish this album. So he got a phone call from jail, they patched it into the board, and the reason his voice sounds the way it does on that song is because he's singing it from jail. You're like, yeah, now let's listen. Oh, he's singing over the phone from jail. Wait for it. Oh, so good. So good.
Baby, 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 I still want you come to me as a horse. Don't lust off my body, baby. That's a bore.
Anyways, amazing. So he sang it from his, he sang it over the phone from prison. Pretty cool story, right, Funkhouser?
Wild. Yes.
And I remember talking to him, and I was like, that really was. It wasn't just some sort of effect. He was like, no, we wouldn't have chosen to do that. He was like, maybe a little bit of the song we would have had that effect on, but no, like, we had to get it done. So at the time, he was like, HR from Bad Brains is calling me from prison going, has this ever been done before? And he was like, no, I really don't think it has. And to the best of my knowledge, it's never been done since. But man, go see. They're still out there too. Like, you might get a chance to see a Bad Brains show. Please take it. And for most people, they're from DC, and I think that most people I know that are into Bad Brains, it's sort of an East Coast thing, but they're really, really big in England. And interestingly enough, they were, and this has sent waves through the hardcore community. They came up with the idea back in the 80s, which was they were on to being the best versions of themselves they could be. They were very sort of positive and very kind of motivated to be positive. And Napoleon Hill, this is sort of like the granddaddy of all self-help books. There's a book called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Do you know that? You ever heard of that, Funkhouser? It's super famous. I've never read it. Like, I picked it up and leafed through it, and there's some interesting stuff in there. But there's this idea called positive mental attitude, being positive in your mindset and focusing on things that are positive and creating a better life for yourself through your positive focus and letting that guide your actions and how you go through the world. And in the hardcore community, it's become this thing called PMA, positive mental attitude. And Bad Brains, they didn't start that, but they were one of the main proponents of this thing, PMA, in hardcore. And now, like, you'll see bands all over the place being like, I got that PMA all day, yo. And it's really interesting. It kind of came from this whole
meant.
Yeah. Oh, so you've heard it?
I think so. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, PMA all day means you have a positive mental attitude. So, man, I loved Bad Brains growing up because they're just interesting and different. And he sang songs from inside prison. Like, when your young mind tries to wrap any kind of understanding around that, when you try and wrap your young mind around that this guy's singing this awesome music from a prison cell, how could you not be intrigued by that band and want to go down the rabbit hole of their incredible music? Answer, you couldn't.
That's what I'll be doing in my hotel room tonight.
Yeah,
playing
you will.
Bad Brains playlists.
Yeah, that's what you're going to be doing. Not hanging out watching literally all of the porn. I'll take your silence as a sign that I was right. You're like, yes, I'll be enriching myself with good music.
Oh, I don't even know if you can... Is that even a thing in hotel rooms anymore? I heard they took that off.
Watching porn?
Yeah, you can't push the button anymore in hotel rooms? Let me try. I'm trying.
Porn on your TV or porn on your computer?
On your TV.
On your TV? No, I think they realize that everybody's got porn on their computer.
Oh.
There may or may not be adult features, but I just can't imagine anyone paying for porn in a hotel room.
Man, they must have lost a lot of money when that went away.
Yeah. Did you ever used to do that thing where you stayed in hotels and, like, the porn channel, when you were flipping through it, was like all dot matrixed out, but if you kind of like turned your head sideways and squinted really hard for a second, you're like, yep, that's definitely that's a butt, and that is like I remember when my band used to be on tour, we were all broke and stuff, and we'd go to our hotel rooms, and what are you gonna do? I'm gonna go lie down, watch some squiggly porn, try and get into it, and then probably fall asleep, dejected that I don't have the $10.50 to watch an adult feature. Oh, how much easier having porn on your cell phone must make it for young bands in this day and age. It really is an incredible time to be alive. Funkhouser, how much time do we have left? Let's do some news.
Let's see, like 3 minutes? We can get a couple more.
Yeah, we got time for a little more news.
All right, Kim Kardashian's in the news here. She was photographed in a thong bikini.
Oh, Kim Kardashian photographed in a thong bikini? Yeah, so if you're thinking that you could go a week without the Kardashian nether regions making some kind of headlines, this is the week that you, like me, were very, very disappointed, because the internet kind of blew up on this one. I was like, people are still interested? Like, we've seen literally we've seen it all. Like, there's no part of Kim Kardashian that is left to see. But, like, yeah, Kim Kardashian was photographed in a thong bikini, and that was news. In large-bootied celebrity human garbage news, that was news. Actually, interestingly enough, I think that thong bikini started out as a full-length pair of pants, but her butt got hungry. Go on.
Universal Pictures plans to make a movie about Madonna's early career.
Oh. Yeah, and you know what? To save money, the studio can just use the same set as the latest Jurassic Park movie. Because her early career was a very long time ago. Here's the thing about Madonna. I think she's an odiously awful. I don't know about odiously awful. That's strong. I just find I find her to be hard
nice.
work. I don't know. I find her to be. When did you see her when she did carpool karaoke with James Corden?
Yeah, she doesn't come across as nice at all.
Sticking her leg out the window, being like, literally, oh my gosh, for the love of God, somebody pay attention to me. It was strange and uncomfortable, the things that she did to try it. I don't know, but who can fault her? She's had one of the most glittering careers of all time, and you know what? I hazard a guess that she sort of got what the hell it is she wanted. I have a hard time with her. But you know what? The whole thing about her being old, I like it. I think it's good.
Me
Indiana
too.
Jones is 78. Madonna is like 60 or whatever it is now. I think I honestly...
Bring on the golden years, man.
Well, I appreciate this because I see people getting older, like all the guys in the Chili Peppers are now in their 50s and stuff. And you look at these people that you grow up who are sort of in your mind frozen in time from when you were a kid. But you know what's cool about the Chili Peppers? If you see their latest video, they're all like in their mid-50s, and they look every second of that 55 years old. They haven't gone out and bought themselves or each other new heads for Christmas and stuff. They're wearing it well, and I'm glad they're wearing it well and not trying to cover it because it just makes you go, you know what? There might be a little bit more to being 50 than I thought. That is cool. This has been cool. Thank you so much for hanging. Thank you for being a part of our radio family. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll do it all over again.
Please feel better. Don't die.